just got back from the most amazing walk by the river. I live in the beautiful city of New Orleans, Louisiana, very, very close to the Mississippi River, and I'm blessed to have a lovely park just down the street where I can walk along the edge of it and see all the old broken down wharves and the city skyline across the river, and just such amazing, amazing scenery out there. It's a gorgeous day. It's probably about 70 degrees on the last day of January. So very blessed and very lucky to have such amazing weather and such a beautiful place to walk that inspires me. So for my work this time, I'm thinking about just the old wharves and how they're all broken down, and how the river is so much a part of our life here and always has been. It's been obviously something that's helped sustain the city. It's kind of the bane of the city sometimes with flooding and that. New Orleans is very much a city of water, and a lot of the land we live on, the water has been drained away to make land for us to live on, and so the water comes back sometimes. The river typically has been very, very low the last several years, and it's starting to come back up just a little bit with some rain that we've gotten recently. So it's just so peaceful out there, the water lapping against the shore. I love how the river kind of takes back what we build. This is not part of the wharf, but it is an old piece of wood that I found on my walk that I think I'm going to use on the plate to see if I can get some of that texture that reminds me of that. There were also lots of crows out there, which my favorite animal is a crow, and so this is actually a feather from Hobby Lobby, but I'm going to try to print this on the plate as well to get some kind of sense of the birds that were out there. And I'm also going to try to make my own stencils using hot glue. I don't remember the video that I saw, but I will link it down below and give credit to this human who showed how they made these incredible like stencils and ways to mask out on the plate using just hot glue. So I'm going to try that, and we'll see how it goes, and we'll see what I come up with. Well, here I am doing a little experiment. So I saw someone on a video make stencils out of hot glue. They used a silicone baking sheet, which I do not have, and I'm sure Amazon would love it if I would just put one in my cart and send it on over. But I tried foil, which did not work, and I have this parchment baking paper that worked beautifully. So I just made this cute little spiral, and I'm gonna keep on going and see what else I can make. I'm thinking I want to make something that's sort of like a feather situation, maybe. I don't know. So I've never done this before. I have no idea what I'm doing, which is half the fun of art. It's all an experiment. We're just gonna try some things and see what works. All right, so here I am. I have quite a few things I've made here. Here's my scribbly bit. I'm gonna go through and pull the strings off, of course, and clean that up a little bit. But that looks pretty cool, I think. I have another bigger spiral to go with my smaller spiral. And you know what? It kind of flops and bends around, but you know what? That will make it even better. That way it will be different every time I use it. Here's this weird feather that I made. Not sure how that will turn out, but you know, it was worth trying something more realistic. And then down here I've got some bits that kind of reminded me of how the wood is on the wharf down there that's all falling apart. Two that are just kind of some straight lines, abstract, but sort of representative of something. So I'm going to give those a try on the plate and see what happens. All right, let's see what kind of color we can make with this. But different types of paints react differently on the plate. I'm getting a very watery sensation from the craft paint and kind of a better, more tacky consistency from the Liquitex Basics, but we mix it all together and let's see what we can get. Right now we're just making some background so that we have something cool to print onto. I don't ever like to print directly on just a blank white sheet of paper unless I'm doing some sort of photo transfer situation. Today I'm using just a very, very inexpensive, it's actually drawing paper. It works great at absorbing the paint, and I love that it's inexpensive because most of what I do just gets ripped up and collaged anyway. It's not a masterpiece. The one thing I don't love about this paper is that it's not pure white, but we make a nice background and then we have something to print on. So we'll make some more of those. All right, so we're going to start with these Hot Glue Stencils because we've got to find out how they work. Feeling like I'm going to want to make a lot more of these. All right, now I don't like it when it's just plain, so I'm going to take my beautiful funky silicone brush and let's get some wavy, watery type lines going in there. And maybe, just maybe, we should see if we can get some of these wood impressions in between. A little bit more over there. All right, I want to put that on top of this one right here. Now, I always have the paper underneath my piece of glass here so that I use that for registration purposes. It's not an exact science, but it's just fine. So I have to get in between all of these bumpy things. Let's see what we can get to come up on this initial print. That's my dog with her tennis ball. Hi Lola, say hi Lola. Can't play ball right now. So this is when we learn, because I don't like the way that's just a blob right there, which means we're going to need to put something else on top of this one. And maybe we should just press them down and peel them off before we print. But I think the ghost print of this might be pretty good actually. And let's see if we should put that. Let's put it on this plain blue. Lola's playing ball. We're going to press this down on here. All right, let's see what we can pick up. So that's pretty interesting, but I have to say, I think I should have picked the stencils up before I printed, because then we wouldn't have this boring blank spot and these boring blank spots. So we can always print over top of those. Let's see what else we can do. Let's roll out. Let's just go with that again, because I did like that pearl space gray and some black. And we'll try picking them up before we print. And there goes Lola's tennis ball again. It is very annoying, and I'm terribly sorry, but she's a puppy. She is 1 year and 2 months old, and she's just busy. She's just busy all the time. All right. Plop. 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 There's a very exact science over here, and of course the sound effects help. So I think maybe my hand is not the best thing. Maybe I have a sheet of paper under here I could use. I do. Look at that. Let's just put... Oops. Oh, that one moved. Sorry. Oh no. Won't be able to replicate that again, but who cares? Alright, so I've pushed those down. This is just a discard paper we can use for something else. I am going to pull them off now before I go crazy with my funky silicone brush. Get some rivery, watery, flowing type things in there, and some driftwood. Yes, bits are going to end up in there. We knew that would happen, didn't we? But it's fine. It's just fine. We can pick them out. All right, let's put this one on there. All right, I think I'm going to let this one sit for a few minutes to see if we can get all of that paint to pull up. All right, let's see how we did here. All right, we've got something going on here. I don't know what it is. Does it look watery, rivery? It does look like something. Well, let's see what's next. Maybe we should change up the color. Let's do, sorry, that's Lola. There's a huffy breath. She does not like it when I ignore her to make these videos. Let's try pearl space gray with some Prussian blue over here. Now this is a heavy body paint, which isn't always the best thing, and it's looking kind of goopy. But we'll see how it goes. Let's try it. So the heavy body paint tends to not stick as well, but when you blend it with a looser paint, it does all right. Kind of liking that color. All right, now, what if we do, let's do feathers. We haven't done any feathers. Let's do some feathers. So here's a feather, here's a feather. I'm going to try different ways. That one I put the think it might work better that way. The stem, I want to call it the stem, but clearly it's not a stem. It's a, what do you call this part of the feather? I do not know. But let's see what we can do. So right now, I'm going to take my junky paper and I'm going to just kind of press down a little bit to get their impression. And I'm gonna cheat and use my fingers a little bit too. All right, let's pull these off and see what it left behind. Okay. Let's add a little driftwood in there as well. I'm loving that. A little drifty driftwood. Alright, I'm going to put this gorgeous orange over top and let's see what happens. This orange is a blend of pearl marmalade and cadmium orange hue. And the registration didn't line up so great, but you know what? I'm just going to tear it up and collage it anyway. I'm going to let that sit down for a little bit. All right, I do find leaving the paper down a little bit of time helps out to peel all the paint off the plate. Well, here's what we're learning here. I do like those colors together. That metallic is really cool. But my feathers didn't turn out so hot, did they? Well, all right. Moving right along. What will we do next? Let's try, actually, let's do a lighter blue with that pearl space gray. Let's do this kind of generic blue. Well, do I want to do that? Oh, sure, why not? Blue with pearl space gray. I'm just kind of blending that together as much as I can. You know, I should mention that it's about 68 degrees outside. It's probably 60 degrees inside. And my paint is doing beautifully. Lots of times in the studio, my paint dries too fast. Let's see if we can just try my fake feather, my hot glue feather. That's kind of interesting. Try it this way. Oops, fingerprint. Oh well, you'll know I made it. I can't deny it. Now, I would like to make some marks. All right. Let's do, this. Just trying to make sure I get enough paint off of there that my beautiful background shows through underneath. That's looking cool. That's looking so cool. All right, we gotta hurry up because I'm bragging about my paint not drying too fast, and I might let it dry too much. All right, here we are. Let's see how this one turns out. All right, let's peel this thing off and see how it did. I like to leave the last one a long time to get as much paint off the plate as I can. All right, so we have some good texture. I have to say the contrast is not great, but don't worry. So here's what we ended up with. I have this one, which is honestly kind of interesting. This one, which of course I don't love white. White is just so not great. This one looks sort of cool. This one did not come out as we wanted, but we're going to do a little magic on that one in just a second. And what else did we end up with? This might be my favorite, actually. Sometimes it comes down to the color that you choose and the contrast between the top layer and the bottom layer as far as how those marks show up. All right. We also have these two from the beginning that we can mess around with as well. So I'm about to do some magic here, and the magic is this. There's such a thing as interference paint, and it's a very strange paint that looks almost white when you put it down, but if you put it on a dark surface, it does magic. So you can almost see the shimmer in the little test up here. I'm going to start with, let's just do the gold for right now. And we'll roll some of that out. Sorry if you hear Lola barking in the background. Clearly, AJ's got the music going in the backyard. The cats are running. I don't know what's happening in the neighborhood. You know, we just go with it around here. If I waited for Lola to settle down and not be running around and making noises and barking, well, you know, I'd never have a video. So there's some bits of wood on there. Do I care? No. I'm going to go to my old standby bubble wrap because I really like the way it works, and I think putting it on top of those layers will be pretty fantastic. All right, so there's that one. I also have a handy little mitt of little baby bubble wrap. Let's just get some more of that paint off. Perfect. All right, are you ready? We're going to put that on this. That's lots of darkness. I think let's put it this way. Are you ready for some magic? Let's see what happened. Ooh, okay. All right. That is looking very interesting. I love this paint because at certain angles it looks gold. At other angles you can see the black and the orange underneath. Well, that makes me happier. Let's try, should we try some more gold? Let's try some more gold. Actually, we might try to pick some of these bits out of this poor jelly plate wood. You know, some of the things I use leave bits of themselves behind, but it's okay. All right, more gold interference paint. This is a heavy body, which actually in the heavy body it's a lot more fluid than most of the colors, but I think they do have a fluid version of this paint as well. This is a golden paint. But I do believe other manufacturers make the same thing as well. Let's go for this. Well, hello, Lola. What were you barking at? All right, we're going to put that over another one that's very dark and see what happens. All right, let's see the magic. Let's see the magic. All right, well, that one's interesting. Again, gold in some directions, but you can see the blue and the orange underneath. All right. Let's see. I'm going to keep going with this, and I'll get back to you and show you what I ended up with. All right, we're on our last print here. I have the interference red paint that I'm rolling on here, and I think I'm just going to bubble wrap the heck out of it. We're using the little bubbles first, and let's get some big bubbles on there. Anything to make an interesting mark. Oh, that has black paint from another printing extravaganza on there. Do we care? Maybe not. All right, this is my last one that's kind of metallic blue, black, too dark, not enough contrast. Let's see what happens when we put this on there. It's a gorgeous color. I have to say I didn't pull off as much paint from there as I thought I did, but there you have it. I'm going to clean up and then we'll come back and see what we ended up with, and we'll decide what we think of these objects to create marks on the gel plate. All right, now that I've cleaned up, let's take a look at what I came up with today. This one has some beautiful interference red on there. Not sure what I think about that. Lois back with her ball. Oh, look, this is that funky one I did in the beginning that had those empty spots. And you know what? As much as, please take the ball away. As much as I didn't like this print before, I could see definitely cutting out pieces of this for a collage. I definitely have to say white is not my favorite, but you know what? That might work somewhere. I don't know where. This one. I do like the marks that are in there, but I'm not sure. I think the verdict is out on as far as whether or not I like these hot glue stencils. Oh, here's the other one that had those holes, but this one actually came out really cool. I definitely would use that in a collage. Here's the one I think I like the best, where it really shows the stencils and the marks that I made. This one has the interference gold, lots of layers underneath there. I could see using that. Here's interference gold with some orange and black. I'm not sure. So I definitely have to say, I think the hot glue stencil, I need to make bigger ones that are the size of the plates. I think that might be more effective because it will be easier to have them make their mark. All right. Well, that was a fun day in the studio. As always, some things worked out great, some things didn't come out the way we planned for, but that's okay because that's the way it works. I get inspired by things and I try things out. Some of them work out, some of them don't. I have some great things I think that I can incorporate into other projects. I did think it was about time you meet the crazy one that makes all the racket around here while I'm recording. Can you say hi, Lola? She just wants this ball. Okay. Anyhow, here she comes. Let's see if she'll do it again. Oh, we have to have 2 balls because she doesn't give them up. What do you think, Lola? Was it a fun day in the studio? Not so much? Can you look at the people and say bye? Can you look at them? What if we put this over here? What if we do? Come here. Can you jump for it? Here. There she goes.